Basically what that does is it showcases their expertise so that when the audience says, okay, this is great information and she really knows what she's talking about, but I don't have time for this, so I'm going to hire her instead. So it really
Welcome to the Take Back Your Business interview series, where I'm chatting with industry influencers on how they have found more joy, freedom, and growth in their business by taking back what matters to them. I'm your host, Lauren Black, creative strategist and owner of Bosscation, a business retreat in a box to help entrepreneurs escape from your daily grind to strategically plan for your business. If you want to catch all of the influencer interviews, as well as the awesome giveaway with so many amazing prizes from a lot of our speakers, make sure you head on over to bosscation.com/takebackyourbiz. But without any further ado, I'd love to introduce you to Abby Herman. So Abby and I have become good friends online, but we got to meet in person about a year ago at the Savvy Business Owners Conference. And so Abby just has an amazing kind of voice to her that comes out in her writing, which works out because she's a content strategist and a content coach and also does copywriting. So Abby works with online entrepreneurs to really help you get empowered to be able to either write your own copy and content, because she believes in community over competition. And also she's available for hire if you want to just have her write everything for you. So Abby, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so I think it's very fitting that your topic is take back your content strategy, something that I know I needed when I first started because I didn't have a strategy. I thought my strategy was just, I'll post a blog post here and there when I think of it. So I want to hear from you of how we can take back our content strategy.
So one of the most important things is to first know where your business is going, know what you have planned coming up in the coming months, and even in the next year. What do you want to promote in your business? What are you launching? What new programs and services do you have? What new products are you going to have? And then plan your content around that, because you want to first educate your audience about whatever it is that you're going to be selling, so that they know that you're an expert, and so that you're preparing them for, kind of teasing them with this information that you're eventually going to teach them or give them or sell to them or whatever. And when you do that, it makes it really easy to plan your content in themes. And so planning around like the big ideas that you want your audience to understand. So I like to do it a month at a time. So I have every month, and this is what I do with clients too, typically, is planning, choosing a theme for an entire month. So maybe a website developer's theme for a month is going to be SEO basics. And so they're going to teach their audience about SEO. And basically what that does is it showcases their expertise so that when the audience says, okay, this is great information and she really knows what she's talking about, but I don't have time for this, so I'm going to hire her instead. So it really sets them up for, I know a lot of people are hesitant about publishing content that gives away their expertise, but really what you're doing is you're showcasing that you know what you're doing, you know how to do this, and you can do it for them too. There will always be people who want to just take your free content and use that, and that's totally fine. But there always will be people also who want to just say, hey, you know what you're talking about, let me pay you to do it for me. So that's one big way to take back your content strategy, is to plan it in themes. It makes it so much easier to do the second thing, which is to build your ideas out based on those themes. So using the SEO, the website developer as an example. So teaching an audience how to increase their SEO is a very, very broad topic. And so then you can start to narrow that down. So you can use building out your idea on so how to increase your SEO on your blog posts, how YouTube works with SEO. Can you use email marketing to improve your SEO? So things like that that you can build out and then create more content around those ideas. So you're taking this big topic and then you're building it out with smaller ideas that are a lot more manageable, because you don't want to write a blog post about SEO. That's a book, right? So break it down into little ideas and let them build off of each other. And then the thing that I think that people struggle with the most is the perfectionist syndrome, right?
That's me.
So everybody wants their stuff to be perfect. And it takes so long to get a blog post out, to get a video finished, to write that Instagram post or whatever, that like we're paralyzed by it, right? Like we don't want to hit publish. We don't want to put it out there because we're afraid that people are going to look and see, oh my gosh, she spelled that word wrong. I had it. So here's a funny example. I was doing a training in a small mastermind group that I'm in. There's like 20 people in the group, and I was doing it live, and somebody asked for specific examples. So I pulled up my own Instagram feed to show an example, and there's a typo like right there front and center. I mean, it happens, and I think it humanizes us when we make mistakes, and it's okay. So done is better than perfect. Don't wait until your website. I totally waited. I wanted to wait until my website was completely perfect and just totally built out and done before I made it go live. When I first started business, first of all, nobody's going to my website as a brand new business owner, right? Nobody was going there 4 years ago. And second of all, it probably still wouldn't be published if I waited for it to be perfect. So my coach was like, just hit publish. Who cares if it's perfect? Who cares? Like you have to get yourself out there. And if you wait until everything is perfect, you're never going to get yourself out there, and you're never going to get noticed online. So just get it out.
The other thing that I do is I will just put it out there, but then I go back and tweak it like every week. And so my about page, I'm constantly tweaking my bio. I feel like every time I'm featured on a podcast or in a summit, I redo my bio. And I need to hire you to just write my bio, because I've tried myself so many times and haven't been able to, finalize it. I think I've used the last one like 3 times in a row. So I'm getting there.
That's good. That's good.
Progress, right?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with tweaking things and changing things, but if it's because you already have it out there, but if it's keeping you from getting it out there in the first place, then that's when there's a problem. That's when you need to just say, okay, it's done. Like it's just got to go. And I totally get the perfectionist syndrome. I mean, I totally get it, but sometimes you just have to say, okay, send, and then just look the other way and just start doing something else.
Yeah, move on, because if I keep rewriting my bio, that's hours that I could be spending on other things in my business.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And there's a reason you have it all written out, right? I have it in a Word document, and I usually do make little tweaks when I send it to people for, things like this, or like in a guest blog post. I usually will make a few tweaks to make it fit, to help it fit the audience a little bit better. But overall, the meaning doesn't change. Like the bulk of it's already there. I just tweak a couple of words just to help it flow a little bit better for that particular audience. So totally nothing wrong with that.
Great. So what else what are some other ways that we can take back our content strategy?
If you have trouble with creating content, with taking the time to sit down and create it because you're busy with client work, or you're busy with, your family, or whatever it happens to be, try to choose 1 or 2 days a month, or 1 or 2 afternoons a month, and batch create your content. So know exactly what you're going to create, whether it's videos or Facebook posts or your blogs or whatever, and just sit down and do it all at once. Because when you do that, when you have a strategy and you know exactly what you're going to create for this thing that's happening, later on in the month, or, 3 months from now, it's so much faster to just sit down and do them all at once. So I try to sit down and write all of my blog posts for a month all at once. When I blog for clients, I will do all of their content for the following month all at the same time. So within like a week or so of each other, I will have all of the content written, because A, it's done and then you don't have to think about it. B, it's easier to get into that flow of writing and creation. If you're creating videos, sit down and do them all at once, because then you only have to do your hair and makeup once, right?
Good point.
That's totally what I do. And then I just change my shirt in between videos so it doesn't look like I sat down and did them all at once. But yeah, it's so much faster and you get it all done. Your voice is the same, your tone is the same because you're in that mode. And so, yeah, that's probably like the biggest time hack that I have on just creating content. I publish a lot of content, and it's because I just sit and do it all at the same time. So much faster.
Yeah, I've recently just started doing the batching of my content. And at one point I was doing my batch day and I start recording something or like writing a blog post. And I was like, I think I've done this already. And so I went back and looked and and I had recorded the video that I was trying to record already, 3 weeks before. So if you batch it, then you know what you've already written and talked about on that topic.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. And I think it'll all flow better too. So between the different, if you have 4 blog posts on the same topic, it'll just flow from one to the other.
Yeah. Well, and you're not necessarily writing about the same topic, but you're writing, it's the same big umbrella topic, but it's different, like a different angle, or maybe, so like what I always suggested is, I naturally start with a blog post because I'm a writer and that's what I do. So I start with my blog post, and then I take, like if you have a bullet point and you want to expand on it, create a video about it. If you have another idea that you didn't get to include in your blog post, because they can be as long as you need them to be, but sometimes we're just kind of done writing. So take that idea and make it your update in Instagram with a link to the blog post. So there's a lot of ways you can repurpose some of the ideas, grow them out a little bit so that you don't feel like you're writing the same thing over and over again. And then you can also, so if you write a blog post today about SEO, 6 months from now, things have changed, right? Like we're in the online world. It's so busy and things change so fast. 6 months from now, write a different SEO blog post, write something else that is new, or a new hack that you learned, or something like that. So you can totally write about the same topic more than once. Just do it in a different way, do it with updates, take your blog post that you have already written and tweak it, make changes, and then share it out to social media once you've made the changes, because there's new updates and maybe what you wrote before is outdated now.
That's a great idea. So thank you for that tip.
Yep.
Now, I know I do follow your content, and I've heard you talk about how you kind of analyze what's working and what your audience is, resonating with in order to work on your content moving forward. But I also know that you plan ahead. So how do you kind of balance that you plan things out, but you also want to stay current with what people are interested in?
So I think a lot of it is the tone and the way you present the information. So maybe it's a graphic that you posted to Facebook or something, and it's a graphic without any links, or you linked in a different way and you noticed that there was a lot more traction on that one particular post. So you can do that even though you already have your content planned, or you already have like the ideas planned. You can tweak things a little bit and make little changes without like completely scrapping your entire strategy. Also, I think it's important to note that the strategy is based on so your content that you produce is for your audience. It's about your audience. It's not about you. But that said, it also is something that's going to drive sales at some point, right? Like you're putting out this content for a reason, because you've got this thing over here that you're releasing. So yes, it's important to tweak your content and to change it up so that it's more relevant for your audience, but you also need to keep that launch, that course, that event in mind. So you only want to tweak it so much. And then it's also something that you can keep in mind. So once this thing is over, then you can go and, make bigger changes to your strategy down the road. So you know what's going to happen after that launch, like the next 6 months or the next 3 months.
Great. Thank you for clarifying that. That helps, because I've struggled with that balance of, do I wait to see what people liked before planning things out? So.
Well, and it's also important too, because it helps you decide, where's my audience showing up? Where are they? Are they on Instagram? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Facebook? Are they watching my videos? So knowing where your audience is and where you're getting the most attention can help you to create content more in those places and less in the places where you're maybe not getting the, you know, the feedback or the attention that you're looking for. So it's all a matter of just kind of taking, you can still take the ideas that you have and just present them in a different way or in a different place than what you had originally planned. For me, I don't really like, blogging is my thing. I love to write blogs for myself and for others. And so I don't care if nobody's reading them, I'm still going to write my blogs. So, but I do pay attention to which blogs are the ones that are getting the most attention, which blogs are the ones that people are clicking on, what are they clicking on next, where are they going next after they read my blog, and those are things that I like to pay attention to.
All great ideas there. So how have you personally taken back your content? I mean, has there been a time in your life that you didn't really have a content strategy?
Oh yeah, I didn't for sure. I didn't start blogging regularly until, so I've been in business since 2007 and I've been full-time since May of 2013. I didn't actually start blogging until I want to say 2015, probably mid 2015. And even then I didn't really blog regularly. I cheated a little bit because when I did start blogging regularly, I actually went back and filled in some gaps because I didn't like having like 2 months go by with no blog. So I filled in a few gaps after the fact, but because all my blogs are dated. But yeah, I totally did not blog regularly. I was too busy with client work, which is a good problem to have for sure. But I didn't really, I guess I didn't really see the purpose in it, which sounds really bizarre coming out of my mouth, but I didn't feel like it was going to benefit my business. And then I realized because I kept getting requests for samples of my work. You know, what else have you done? People who questioned my knowledge, I guess, or prospective clients that they didn't know what I knew. And so I saw my blog, and this goes for every industry, not just my own because I'm a writer, but people need to know what you know. They need to know that you're an expert in your field. They need to know that they need to be able to see your personality, which they can totally do with your blog, but even more so with video too. You know, see your personality and kind of get to know you a little bit more. And so, yeah, so then I finally started blogging regularly and didn't start sending out emails to my list until this year. And, and I also started my YouTube channel this year, which I totally have taken back my content strategy in general with that, because I hired an editor for my videos because I don't like editing. I like making them. I have a blast making YouTube videos and on Insta stories. I have a lot of fun, but I hate doing the editing. So I hired somebody to do that. And she actually just started this month. So this month I have my videos all done, and then, you know, publishing them finally again, because I did take a little bit of time off because I just didn't want to edit. So yeah, so I guess like another tip, if you just can't get it done, hire somebody, you know, whether it's writing, whether it's loading your blog post to your website, which I hired somebody to do that for me also, whether it's editing those videos or even posting on social media, totally hire somebody to do it for you. There are people out there who love doing that stuff. And if that's not you, then let somebody do it for you.
Yeah, better to hire things out and pay a little bit than to have it be a bottleneck that stops you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you balance your client work with your business and planning for your business and new ideas?
So I have specific time blocked off for different tasks in my business. So I offer client calls 2 or 3 half days a week. I'm getting confused. 3 half days a week. So excuse me, Tuesday, Thursday mornings and Wednesday afternoons are my client call time. The rest of the day on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is all about client work and getting client work done. Friday is kind of my catch-up day, and Monday is typically all about me and my business and getting the stuff done in my business that I need to get done. Having a schedule, which I don't always stick to because sometimes, things come up and that's okay. But having a schedule and having it, it's literally on my Google Calendar just helps me organize my time so much better. I'm actually in the process right now. I have a calendar sheet sitting here. I'm in the process of kind of not only having it mapped out that way, but specific clients on specific days and the different tasks I do for those clients on at different times of the month, and just completely mapping it out. So, and then putting it in a Trello board so I stick to it. But that is it's helped me so much to just get organized and get things done on time and not have to stay up late to finish something or get up super early to finish something, because I think we're all guilty of that.
So how do you kind of like to brainstorm or develop your new ideas for your business?
For my business?
Mm-hmm.
So I actually use paper and pencil. First of all, I don't journal. But I come up with the ideas in my head and then I just start writing them down, like just brainstorming ideas. Then I literally have it right here. Like I literally write things down in a little grid that I made. Because I don't know, I think I'm just old school. I like using paper and pencil. I eventually do transfer it to Trello or Google Docs, but depending on what it is that I'm planning and brainstorming, but I will transfer it. And but it has to be all laid out first. I have to have it all down on paper. And I do, just like kind of what I talked through at the beginning, where I figure out, what I'm doing in a few months from now. What information does my audience need to know so they're prepared for whatever this thing is? And then how am I going to get there? And so I just brainstorm the ideas. I do have a Google Docs, a spreadsheet with probably, I don't know, 200, 250 different topic ideas for different categories in my business. So I do have that I will pull ideas off of, but I always pull it off and then write it down. That's just kind of my brain dump, because I already have enough paper sitting on my desk that you can't see right now.
Well, you're speaking my language there, was talking about pen and paper, which is why the Bosscation strategy guides are, pen and paper, because your brain goes into create mode when you're just writing, and it lets you flow and your ideas come out. Whereas if you're on the computer, well, maybe not for you as a copywriter, but for me, I go into edit mode. And so I'll write something, I'll go back and reread it, then I'll delete it and start over and be constantly tweaking things instead of just letting it flow. Because yeah, you could go back and erase things on your paper or cross them out if you need to, but you have to keep moving forward. You can't just keep going backwards.
Yeah, and I like to, I know that there's programs that'll do this, but you can be much more visual with the way you lay things out. My thing is, though, it has to be a pencil, and it has to be a Bic mechanical pencil that I use. That is what I have different kinds, but I buy, like, this one's a little more translucent, but I buy like a big box of them during like back to school time. I have to use pencil. I cannot stand writing with pen.
So I would love to know if there's been one pivotal moment in your business that things kind of, transformed for you, and what that was.
Yes, there was, actually. I started seeing this business coach on Facebook, and she would pop into my feed every once in a while. And so I, started following her, and eventually I ended up hiring her. And that was like total and complete turnaround in my business. At that point, when I hired her, I actually had gone back to, it wasn't teaching, but it was like I was helping to tutor kids part-time, kindergartners. I don't do kindergartners very well. So it was hard, and it was at the school that I was at before, which was like a huge hit to my ego. And it was making it even more difficult to grow my business. And so when I hired her, I was able to, I only spent 2 months working for the school district again. And it was like a complete shift in my mindset, total and complete change in my business. And ever since then, it's been like just, more and more growth. What I'm able to bring to my clients and what I'm able to ask for in return financially And it's just been a huge shift in my mindset. And it was fabulous. Like, I can't believe I waited so long to hire a coach in the first place.
Yeah.
Now I think I will always have a coach. I mean, I will never not have a coach, because it's just such a great, having a coach, having somebody on your side that you can bounce ideas off of, and they're invested in your success, has just been huge for me. So,
has there been anything else that you've been really intentional with in your business that's made an impact?
probably making investments in the areas where I know are not my expertise. I mean, so I've hired you to create graphics for me before. Because I surely cannot do that myself. I've hired a video editor. I've hired, I haven't actually hired her, but my sister's my CPA. So we do work trades. We do some bartering. And so having somebody on my team to be able to do that for me has been huge. Just being intentional with where I'm investing my time and my money. Courses that I've taken have been really beneficial to my business. And this year has kind of been about my improving my craft. So I've taken courses on, right now I'm taking Amy Porterfield's List Builders Lab, because it's something that I can use in my own business, and I can use that information with my clients. I'm also taking a copywriting course, email copywriting course through Copy Hackers, that I've actually partnered with someone, and we're doing like a accountability time between now and the end of the year to make sure we get it done. Just making those investments that I know will help me and will also help my clients, because I want to give as much value as I possibly can. And I know that there's always something new to learn. So
yeah, and it's an investment of time as well, and so we have to be strategic in deciding where our priorities are and what to, invest in as far as money and time goes, because we are limited. So finding those things that are improving your craft and going to ultimately grow your business is important. I think sometimes we just get shiny object syndrome and want every course and webinar and podcast. Some of them are free, but we need to, be selective as to what's really going to make an impact and grow our business.
Yes. And so I know that I can hire somebody to do things for me in my business that I'm not especially great at, or that I don't really want to do myself. So I'm more than happy to pay somebody to do that, so I can take the time to better my craft and to be able to offer more to my clients. And then it's funny. So you made me think of something else that I've been really intentional with. Not so much in the last 2 weeks, but prior to that, I got really good at shutting down Facebook groups. So I removed myself from a ton of Facebook groups. I don't even know, probably 100 Facebook groups, which is ridiculous. I wasn't active in many of them. I would get notifications all the time, and which is, a total distraction. So I was very strategic in how and why I removed myself from certain groups. And it was like this feeling of freedom. So I did it slowly over the course of a couple months, where I just decided, where is my audience? Who do I want to connect with? Where do I want to grow relationships? What groups are not serving me as much now as they were before? And then I just started taking myself out of them. At first I would put a couple of them, I just took my notifications off and just ignored the groups for a while. And then I was like, okay, it's time to pull the plug. It's time to say, leave the group. And that's been huge for my, just my mental state, to be totally honest with, some of the stuff that I was seeing, but also just my time, because I spent altogether too much time on Facebook as it is. And that was just sucking up even more time. That wasn't helping me. There weren't people that I could help in a lot of the groups, or they weren't ready for the help or whatever. And so I just decided, okay, it's time to move on to either other groups or to other things that my time is better served in doing. So
yeah,
that's huge.
It's so important to figure out what's giving you a return on your time. in order to move forward. And I know I did the same thing with removing notifications and leaving a lot of groups. And then I can go in and be intentional when I want to interact with people and meet people and give value, or every once in a while. So I took newsfeed off of my Chrome. So I can't even see newsfeed when I go on Facebook and Chrome, and I can only check notifications and like go into groups. So every once in a while I'll pull up Firefox and just see what's going on in the different groups and comment here and there, just so I can, keep the connections with the people that I've made in those groups. But it's a lot less time consuming than before, when it was like all day, every day I was on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, and I took Facebook, the app, off my phone too. The only notifications I get on my phone are for text messages and Voxer, and that's it. And I only have 2 clients that I work with through Voxer, so I don't get interrupted very often. And I turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. So from 8 p.m. until 6 a.m. it's on Do Not Disturb. I have one client who she messages me at odd hours, but it's perfect because I get it in the morning when I get up, and I'm not going to look at it otherwise. So and taking Facebook off of my phone was huge. And I still get on there sometimes on my phone, but I have to open up the browser and log in to do it. And it's really ugly to look at. So it's hard to scroll back and forth. So it's hard to type in. So it's a lot easier for me to say, nope, don't feel like doing that right now.
Yep. My interview with Kate Crocco is about boundaries. And this is all in line with that, of just setting those boundaries of saying, hey, I'm not going to, go on Facebook, and I'm not going to have that app on my phone. I will answer my texts and my emails in the morning instead of at all hours of the night. And it really just helps you stay focused on, business when you're in business, and then stay focused on home and family when you're away from your business.
Yeah. I have Slack on my phone, but I don't have all of my accounts up on Slack. It's only on my computer. And then emails, I don't get notifications, and I really try not to look at my email because I've been totally guilty of, I'm standing in the checkout line at the grocery store, and so I start scrolling through my email, and I open up emails, and then I don't want to respond to my phone because I don't like typing on the little keyboard. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that at home. And then I totally forget. And then, somebody's like, I asked you this question. I'm like, oh, dang it, I totally forgot about that. So I try not to even get on there. Yeah, boundaries are so important. I'm interested. I can't wait to watch that one.
Yeah. So with that said, I would love to know just your biggest tip, anything that you haven't shared yet, on how to take back your content strategy, just to wrap things back up, going back around to, the beginning of our conversation.
Well, I've already said this, but I think it's the most important. Done is better than perfect. Every single day of the week, just get it done, turn it in, click publish, just get it out there, because you are not helping anyone, least of all yourself, if you are not sharing and educating your audience. You just need to get it out there. And if it's not perfect, that's okay, because you're human. We're all human.
Thank you so much, Abby, for all that you shared today on how to take back your content strategy so that we can all grow our businesses and our marketing, our visibility, and just that know, like, and trust factor by putting our content out there, doing it even if it's not perfect, and so that we're able to move forward with other things in our business. So where can people find you and connect with you?
They can find me. My website is abbymherman.com. And I'm also on Instagram at Abby M. Herman. And I like to have fun with my Insta stories. And then I'm also on Facebook, Abby M. Herman, with a number 1 at the end. For some reason, Abby M. Herman was not available. But those are the 3 places where I spend the most of my time.
All right, awesome. And I know you have a client journey map for our audience that's free. So what's that about, and where can they find that?
So you can use the link to the landing page, but basically what the client journey map does is it maps out what type of content you should be creating for your audience at what stage of their journey with you. So every client that you have goes through a journey when they first get to know you, to when they start following you, to then them starting to, thinking about purchasing something from you. They become a client, and then eventually they, you might have additional offers after that. So it kind of maps out what kind of content you should be creating for them, and who you should be targeting with things like webinars or email marketing or your blog posts, your sales pages, and you know, any kind of content that you put out there, tutorial videos, YouTube videos, whatever it is. So it tells you what to create for which type of audience member and where they are.
Wow, that sounds like an awesome resource. So make sure you grab that at the link in the show notes below. And if you like this video, found it helpful, give us a thumbs up. And Abby is also so generous as to give away, for part of the Take Back Your Biz Challenge giveaway, a 60-minute content strategy session. So make sure you enter to win that over at bosscation.com/takebackyourbiz. So that's all for now. Bye, Abby. Thank you.
Thank you.